Hi everyone, right, the live stream is about to start. I'm going to play us in with an old video of mine actually. This is just a very quick audio check. In fact, if I put the timer up, right guys, I'll be back in a minute to start playing a video. Bear with me if anyone's already tuning in. Right, okay, the audio sounds alright my end. I hope it sounds alright to anyone that's watching. Right, this video that I'm going to play comes from 2017. I don't know why I've got the live stream clock starting. I'm about to go. I might as well switch it off. I suppose it gives a few minutes for anyone to tune in that's wanting to watch it, because the video I'm going to play now is of relevance to the rest of the, well, to the first part of the live stream anyway. Hope everyone's well. Anyone watching in the live chat wants to say hi, it'd be great to hear from you. I actually just, I would normally do a live stream on Sunday, but last week's video, not last week, it was a Sunday before last, it was an open lines. I mean, I'm not sure what part of the video it got taken down, unfortunately, but what can you do? And it earned me a week copyright strike. So in this video, I'm not going to mention anything which could be mistaken as, well, basically disagreeing with. Firstly, hi Alice, hi in the chat. Hi Bobby, I thought maybe you disappeared off YouTube. No, not yet. My video stuff is all up there, but I was unable to upload or anything. Who knows? Perhaps I could very quickly. Disappear off YouTube. It wouldn't be the first time I'd had a channel taken down, and you do hear of people going just like that without any strikes. Hopefully my channel isn't as controversial as all that. Hi Maria Ellender, greetings. Thanks for joining us. Sounds good, just got here from work. Well, thanks for joining. I will be going on for a couple of hours. I mean, 1:45 is UK time is when it finishes. I understand it's probably quite late for some people, so I understand if not everyone can make it. The video will stay up for as long as YouTube allow it. Not that we're going over anything too controversial tonight. Like I said, yeah, we had a call in last week with another YouTuber, some girls. Whether that was anything to do with the takedown, she discussed some opinions, gave some anecdotes, some stories, and or maybe it was the video I played at the beginning of magnets sticking to people's arms, which, hey, I was just putting out there as, well, to get people's advice, to get people's opinions on it. A lot of you say you don't believe it, you think it's rubbish. Others say, yeah, magnet on arms. Anyway, I'm not going into that subject. I'm not getting drawn into it. This subject is called the feeling of deja vu for a reason, okay? The first start, right? This video now, what we're going to watch, came out July 2017. I made this video, and it's about 6 minutes long, so check it out, and then we'll come back. David, hi, greetings, thanks for joining. Hi everyone, this is better night than Sunday for the chat. I'm glad to hear that, David. I hope, yeah, Sunday worked for me for a while back. At the minute, I'm still happy to do live streams on Sundays. That's kind of what people have got used to, but I'm not saying I wouldn't ever change it. I wouldn't change to another night. Do you know what, if I had, well, I suppose I could do more than one live stream a week. Let's see, who knows what will happen. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this video you're about to watch, July 2017, I'm starting to repeat myself now, but as that timer's counting down, it means the live stream hasn't technically started. I may end up deleting, trimming this little bit off the video and then just starting from the countdown. Maria Ellender, the V word got mentioned last week. It did, yeah, absolutely. It's a danger, it seems, imagine produce it. Imagine being a company, a for-profit company, and you produce a product that gets so heavily promoted by every media outlet, every celebrity in the world seems to be backing it, every government back it, they're chucking you money left, right and centre, and no one is allowed to say anything that differs than what it says on the tin. Say for example, I buy a tub of Vaseline and it doesn't work for me, it makes my lips even more cracked, and I go out and say, hang on, this Vaseline didn't work for me, and if you want to keep lubricating your lips, up to you. By the way, that's a little segue into another part of the anyway, yeah, we'll go there. I'm not going down this route. Okay, this is my 2017 video, guys. I'm going to shut myself up for 6 minutes and I'll be back in a minute, and then yeah, we'll see how it applies. Thanks to the Alice, Maria, David for popping in the chat. Anyone else want to say hello? Always appreciate it. Always good to know who's watching. Right, be back in about 5-6 minutes. Okay, what an absolute mockery this Martin Hetz theatrical funeral, in the words of his mother, is. It appears any Z-list celebrity that wants to get their name recognised, pop along, turn up at the funeral, you'll get highlighted. Can you believe this 29-year-old person had already planned out his entire funeral, according to his mum? This is the mother who I featured in one of my videos that was comparing Martin Hetz' grieving parents to the Kubler-Ross model. Now, a couple of people came out and said that, of course, people grieve differently. In fact, this is how their family were for a week when they lost someone. To which I say, well, even beyond a week, this family is still shown zero grief. Oh, by the way, Mariah Carey recorded a message for Martin. She was good friends with him, apparently. As were some fraud off of Radio 1, Nick Grimshaw, I believe he's called.
Hello everyone, it's Nick Grimshaw here from the Radio 1 Breakfast Show. And Martin
See that? Can you believe that?
into my life through Twitter, and his tweets always been shared by...
Okay, they keep going on about Martin Hett's Twitter account. By the way, look on Twitter for Martin Hett. I couldn't find him. If anyone can find his Twitter account, I'd be curious to read it. Also, who has a funeral in the town hall? That's not the most familiar place you'd have it, is it? But I suppose when you've got as millions of loving admirers as Martin Hett has, then perhaps, yeah, you do hire out the hall. We can listen to a bit more of Nick Grimshaw lying about someone he'd never met.
Friends, and me and my group of friends and everyone at Radio 1 always commenting on how funny, how sharp and how hilarious Martin was with his social media.
What a load of crap. It shows us some pictures. Interesting thing about Martin Hett, the only pictures you see of him all seem to have been taken around the same time, where he's got exactly the same haircut and more or less the same facial hair growth. Apparently Gail from Coronation Street turned up at the funeral, as ordered these phonies and frauds. Of course, Ariana Grande sent some bullshit message. She's a liar and a fraud. And Martin Hett was a huge fan of Michelle Nobody McManus, who I believe was on The X Factor or some other load of rubbish program. So of course she gets to get her name on television, doesn't she? And by the way, like I said, according to the mother, Martin had already planned his funeral. In fact, if you do a search for Martin Hett's theatrical funeral, you get links to loads of accounts, but they now appear to have updated their website or removed it altogether. It's only okay, but they still mention the theatrical funeral. Now, theatrical, that means the whole thing's acted out, just in case you're not familiar. So they're basically making fun of you to your face, saying that, yeah, this is a theatrical funeral, guys, but no one gets it. It's even attended by actors. I mean, who has a televised funeral? What an absolute joke. And not only a televised funeral, but a televised funeral that was planned by the 29-year-old person before they died. I mean, apparently he wanted 2 white horses to drag him to the place. I wonder if he knew that Z-list celebrities would be trying to get a bit of promotion off him. Like I said, we've got Mariah Carey giving a little message, raising her profile. We've also got this guy, Manford, who was obviously another great mate of him, giving a bit of a message. That's to him lying as well.
Why are smoking? Why? Why do we feel so sad? And why have some of us been crying over this?
What this guy's saying is, why are we sad? Why are we crying over this boy, this person? Shouldn't we all be really happy? Let's let him lie a bit more.
Boy with a DeJa tattoo.
Oh yeah, apparently, obviously, this guy made it in the newspapers probably not very long ago, just to showing off a tattoo he had at DeJa Barlow or some rubbish like that.
The world's changed, and if you want to be sad, you be sad. It's up to you how that manifests itself in your own personality. The world has been robbed of a potential superstar, of an actual superstar. You only have to look at Martin's social media, his odd telly appearances, to see some of the interviews given by family and friends, to know that in some way or another, be it before or after he was taken from us, he's obviously touched a lot of people's lives.
So what he's saying is, look, guys, there's nothing weird about the fact that his mum hasn't shed a single tear for him, and is absolutely fine with the fact that he was taken so young. Want to hear her talk?
My name's Martin, I'm 27 and I'm from Manchester.
He was just a bundle of fun. He was somebody you would probably want to be with. He was sort of the life and soul of the party.
Like I said, notice the fact he's always got the same hairstyle in every single picture you see him in.
Before social media and the internet, he had video cameras that were never off his hands because he was always filming.
I even have a cat that I've called Emily Bishop.
I think he just put his whole life on media, didn't he? On social media, I think.
I think he just thought he was some kind of... He always thought he was a star and famous. And gonna... Little did we know that in his own sort of social media world, he was famous.
Hello from Michelle McManus.
Hello, this lovely darling came all the way to see me and I am so happy.
I personally knew he was very active, but it's only after his death that we realised the extent of just how...
Yeah, I'll leave the links to these websites in the description if you want to see them for yourself, but they're pretty painful to watch. Martin Heck funeral, Ariana Grande bombing back in June. Complete fraud, mate. Okay, your comments and questions are welcome. Thanks ever so much. Okay, that was my video. Don't worry, we're not actually talking about MEN or Martin Heck especially tonight. Since the last video I did, there has been another high-profile funeral. The purpose of this video is just to draw a few comparisons to not only this one, but a third video that third funeral that happened a few years previous. All of them are pretty sensitive subjects. I mean, if you're a believer in what you see and hear on mainstream media, on mainstream news, this is the sort of thing that, you know, it wouldn't particularly go down well to question it, but how can you not question mainstream media when it is as ridiculous as this? I did ask a question in the chat. Can anyone guess what we'll be talking about next? It's a story I've made quite a few videos of because it's really sort of, yeah, for me it's absolutely disgusting. If I'm correct, and that the story is, as I believe, completely made up, just read the live chat. David said UK Critical Thinker channel covered loads about Manchester, and yeah, if you're not familiar with UK Critical Thinker, he has still got a channel up. He did some really good work. He's stopped doing videos now, unfortunately. I do hear from him from time to time. He's still going well, you know, he's still good and everything. I don't know if I'd ever manage to get him to come on live stream and have a chat one day and give you guys a catch up. But yes, so bear in mind, Martin Heck. I'll share my screen now and we can have a look at the, oh, 1 second, I'll share my screen and we'll have a look at Martin and some of the aspects of his funeral. He had celebrities turning up. Okay, here we go. I know I said it wasn't right. Okay, this was Martin Heck's funeral. This stagecoach Here we are. Now, would you believe that stagecoach, for any high profile funerals of young people, this stagecoach seems to be, oh, what happened there? Oh, okay. This stagecoach seems to be booked out without fail. Okay, the actual the vile story that I mean, I guess some of you guys watching have seen the videos I made about Ashley Kane. Again, if I genuinely for 1 minute thought that Ashley Kane was and Safia Voronin, his parents, had genuinely lost a child, I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. I mean, I would have nothing but sympathy for anyone that loses a child. I've had comments on the videos I've made saying you're sick for questioning this, but for me, these people, right, put it this way, when your child is taken ill, hang on, we'll watch this video in a minute and you'll just see how similar it is. When your child gets taken ill into hospital, what is your main priority? Is it A, to comfort the child and be there for it, or is it B, to take pictures and put them up on Instagram? It's the situation for me is this story, if it isn't fake and I'm wrong, then that is only because what motivates these people as parents is just so alien to me. Dupin Delight much? I don't know. That looks like this is Ashley Kane and Safia Voronin, parents of Azalea. Right, now just after we've watched this, I'll just make a few comparisons to Martin Hatt and another video, another funeral that played out a few years ago, also got televised weirdly. Ashley Kane and girlfriend Safia Voronin have been joined by hundreds of people in their town of Nuneaton to pay their respects to his daughter Azalea. The 30-year-old and his partner Safia, 33, tragically lost their baby girl in late April, so literally a few months ago, with leukemia. The pair had raised, important word there, had raised £1.6 million for treatment in Singapore before being hit with the news that the disease had spread to her brain, leading them to enjoy their last days together at home. Now I know people that have lost children and they couldn't even talk to people, let alone put picture after picture on Instagram, or in the case of the father, go out and do product placement for a new pair of trainers that you've recently bought. It's just crazy. Anyway, like I said, he raised money, but as we know, misappropriation laws being what they are, if you raise money to save a baby's life, you can't then spend that money on the child's funeral, or you can't spend it on anything except its intended purposes, otherwise it has to be refunded. So by all accounts, I've said this before, this fundraiser should be shut down. But of course, when they've got expensive okay, so where were we? Let's not get too sidetracked. So this was Martin Hett's stagecoach. It also happened to be, I don't know if we see it anywhere else, Azalea's stagecoach. I mean, literally identical. So, do you think anyone else, any other high-profile funerals for a young person, has also used that stagecoach? It seemed, yeah. Katie Ruff funeral. I don't know if you remember the story of Katie Ruff. Another horrible story, and also very difficult to believe. CC Jelly in the chat, stagecoach. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Maria Ellender, lost my firstborn over 40 years ago. My grief crippled me for years. Of course it does. Yeah, you've got my complete sympathy, Maria. I'm sorry to hear that. Alice Wild, nice orange touches. Yeah, orange absolutely floods this story about Azalea. No, yeah, I'm sorry, I get the names mixed up. Right, and Katie Ruff. I don't know if you remember this story about the girl with the photoshopped ears. Apparently, one of her classmates or friends at school, the story goes, that thought she was a robot, had mental health problems, and garroted her or slit her throat outside the school. Again, so horrible that you wouldn't even touch it. But look at those ears. You're telling me that's real? Now, I do believe the reason they called her Katie Ruff was because all the images they had of her were very roughly drawn together. Right, whereas I'm actually looking to the stagecoach just to see how close. Right. So, and I'm curious if any of you guys know of any high-profile funerals for young people we could look at to see if any of these common features show up. Alright, let's watch. I'm going to keep it muted. Actually, we were going to watch Azalea going through the town, weren't we? But again, the similarities do not stop there. Come on, Ashley, you could at least try and look interested in this funeral. He looks bored out of his mind. Or is he supposed to be upset there? Right, where was that video we were going to watch? Right, here they are. The way they write it, you would think 100. I mean, there's maybe 100 people turned out for this, but nothing like what they would have you believe paid interest in this. And televising a funeral, again, obviously people cope with, well, David, what's the car's number plate? We'll have a look at that in a minute. I did put that on the numerology calculator. I think it comes to 40. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Unless you mean this one here, DL63. Right, anyway. We don't seem to have volume, which is fine with me. Look at all those horses. How much money would have had to be spent on this? The child's not even in that hearse. That's the silly thing about it. Look how much money they would have had to spend. And bear in mind, these people are going to the public saying, can you still keep donating to our cause to save our baby's life? Okay, there is the horses, literally right down to the headdresses and these coats that they're wearing. If we go to, this was Martin Het, he could only afford two horses by the look of it. Okay, everyone's a critic, eh? They just shat all over the floor. Don't blame them. Who was the other one? Katie Ruff. I think we have to watch the video in order to really see much of the horse on this one. Might have to sit for an advert first. Maria, did the Woolwich soldier have a stagecoach funeral? Interesting. I have to try and remember the guy's name actually, if it's the same one. I know exactly who you're on about. You could be correct. We'll have a look at that. But there we go. Oh. Look, and another thing, they've decorated this Sam I Am. I think that's some. That's the Cat in the Hat. So decorated coffin. I want to go back and look at the stagecoach. Again, it is. I think maybe this top bit's a bit different, but other than that, the stagecoach is identical to that of both Martin and Azalea. Unfortunately, you don't get such a close look at it. Yeah? Look at that. Not half as many people. Right. Goodness me, we don't want to watch any crap like Stacey Solomon. Okay, get that video off. Okay, what else do you think? Okay, let's read down. It's a bit of a joke. The pair announced the funeral details in May, explaining the immediate family would attend a private ceremony, but invited the public to take part in a cortege and make the day a celebration of her life. David, you were asking about the number plate BW68VZE. Crazy Hippo Lady, hi. It was Martin Hett's parents that finished off Waking Me Up. Yeah, they were a big giveaway. I'm trying to remember the name of the name of the soldier that Maria Ellender mentioned. Anyway, this carries on. So remember, they literally just dealt with losing their child a few weeks prior to this. They phoned up their funeral director and said, "Oh, can we get the standard high-profile package, please?" And they said, "Well, what do you want? A couple of white horses? Yeah, do all the usual stuff. Do you want to make it special? Anything different? Nope, just maybe chuck a few extra horses." This was the mother's tribute to her child. As you can see those claws, we get a better look at that in a minute. The funeral started at 10 a.m. on Friday the 21st of May with a row of orange balloons covering the fence. At Builders Merchants Juicens, getting a bit of a plug there. You would think even on the day of their daughter's funeral they would lay off the product placement for a minute, wouldn't you? It wasn't long for over 100 people lined the street with some holding balloons. Other wore t-shirts. Actually, I'm not sure if later on it appears that that's a different box, because I don't know. At 10:20, the horse-drawn carriage carrying Azalea made its way down the street for her final journey. A funeral car was also seen adorned with lots of stuffed animals, including lions, teddy bears. The crowd broke into applause and cheered the phrase "Let's go, champ." Well, we didn't hear any of that in that video. People did applaud, but it sounded like about 10 people. This is the mother. You can tell she's been crying lots, can't you? Of course, on the day of your daughter's funeral, you have to put posts up on Instagram, don't you? She later shared footage of her nails, which she got done in tribute to her late daughter. One nail had several glitter pieces on it with a drawing of angel wings between an orange light. Over this she wrote "My Azalea Day," as Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston's "When You Believe" played in the background. Classy. Her index finger and little finger's nails showed orange jewels, while her middle finger had a snap of Azalea on it and a ring finger of the photo Simba. A bit more product placement for the Lion King. My tribute nails to look at you all day. My heart is aching, and I'm so hard, aching so hard, and I'm nervous for today. But I promise we'll do you proud. She wrote over this with a crying emoji and an orange heart. That's obviously on Instagram, I think. Look at that. How tacky is that? Well, whatever. If that's what these are, obviously fake nails. It didn't stop there though. It did not stop there. Her other hand mirrored the first set of nails with her middle finger showing blah blah blah. Right, what else did they do to tribute Azalea? Let's just do a search for Ashley Kane tattoo. Actually, there we go. Actually, it's also on his Instagram. Apparently, they all got tattoos on the wrist. Now, have a close look at those tattoos. Unfortunately, well, hang on. I'll see if I can get a bit of a close-up on them. Just look if it looks in the least bit photoshopped. Or, right. And anyway, yeah, again. So, do you think this was something original? They thought, okay, we'll do something special, something only we've done for our child. Oops. We'll get tattoos. No one's thought of doing this before, right? This will be a new original thing. Bear in mind also, diamond, the word diamond in numerology is 33, as has been pointed out many times. So how original are they with getting these tattoos? Let's have a look. Katie Ruff. Katie Ruff tattoo. Oh, Lee Rigby, that was the other one. Devastated mum. Devastated mum of Katie Ruff reveals touching tattoo tribute to beautiful daughter found with fatal injuries in a field. Where's the pictures? There we go. Exactly the same on the wrist. And again, these look absolutely photoshopped. To me, it looks like there's a different texture. Let's see. I'll just have a look at the live chat. Stwan Pressure Washing. Greetings and welcome to the live chat. That's not a name I've seen before on the live stream, so you're most welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining. Maria Ellender, Lee Rigby, yeah, we'll have a look at him. Linda Mack, orange tie, lots of orange in this funeral. The whole thing was surrounded in orange, Linda. In fact, they went on to say that orange was a colour of bravery. He even bought orange trainers. Nice little bit of product placement here. When do you think he bought these bright orange trainers? Surely it would have been before the death of his daughter. Right now, it's taking everything I have to begin each new day. The pain of not being able to see my little girl is consuming my whole body. This afternoon, I put on new running trainers that I bought after Azalea gained her angel wings. So even after she died, he was out there buying orange trainers. Absolutely stupid. Where was the orange sunset they put up? Yeah, here we are. Yeah, CC Jelly, GoFundMe 1.5 million. It's actually 1.6 million now, and they still haven't shut down the fund. CC Jelly says the perfect media event around the religion of grieving with a cast of useful idiots. You're absolutely right. Maria Ellender, Mark of Cain tattoo. Yeah, well, his name is Cain, isn't it? Yeah, what is the mark of Cain? I mean, obviously I know Cain, if it's a reference to Cain and Abel. Right. Alice, you've given us a link. We'll have a look at that in a minute. David, there was a woman that got a bee tattoo for her son that supposedly died at the arena. Yep, again. Let's see, where was that one? Martin Hett tattoo. Loads of people were getting bee tattoos. Oh, by the way, it was this one here on the wrist. Who was it that mentioned that? Yeah, thank you for sharing that one, David. Manchester victim's mother gets tattoo of worker bee in moving tribute to murdered son on the wrist again. And again, you get, I mean, obviously tattoos, when you recently get a tattoo, the skin does go a bit kind of, well, it scabs over. But look at that. That looks to me like it's either a transfer or I'm going to have to start shutting my tabs down because my computer's slowing down, unfortunately. Yeah, so it would seem that this Azalea Cain, there's nothing new about it. This is Safia. Also sharing a link to the GoFraudMe, which, as we've said earlier, is now up to 1.6 million. Still taking donations, by the way. They only wanted 1 million, and they've now got 1.638, and you can still donate. Bear in mind, these people on Instagram have boasted about how many ensuite bathrooms they've got in their mansion, and they pose next to sports cars. Ashley walks around wearing these orange trainers that probably cost the best part of £1,000, and then they've got the cheek to come out and ask for money. Of course, get your funeral pictures up on Instagram. Nothing like who has it said about CC Jelly saying the perfect media event around the religion of grieving with a cast of useful idiots. You've got that right. Look at these people. Would you really? I don't know. For me, it would be something I think I would say to the photographers, look, I know I'm a public personality, but on this day, please let us have it. Don't force, don't take pictures of my daughter's funeral in order to sell newspapers, get views, get clicks. Let's just have a bit of respect for the memory. But no, none of it. They just keep product placing, they keep advertising all their... Look at that big smile on her face. Yeah, I have no doubt whatsoever. It was one of two things. Either this is a complete fraud, a complete joke, or these people are so... Their maternal instincts are so foreign that they see the death of their child as an opportunity to boost their profile. It makes no sense. I mean, what are we going to get next? Is it going to be... I mean, I see a time where we're going to have award ceremonies for the best realities, the realies, as in the are like the... I can't think what they're called now. But a really award where miscarriage of the year goes to, I can't think of that woman's name now, John Legend or whatever he's called. Celebrity paramedic, as Ant and Dec go round in a ambulance for a year and they take on celebrity children. And I don't know, is this really what the world's coming to? Where your child goes into hospital, and what do you do? What do you do when your child goes into hospital? Well, you put the picture on Instagram, of course. Why wouldn't you put your picture on Instagram? It's crazy. It cannot be real life. Here we are. Is this in the ambulance? Oh no, I'm not sure. Perhaps they've taken it down now. I know they certainly showed photos of it though. Right. David, a worker bee, Maria Ellender came as the first murderer. Yes, absolutely he was. He killed his brother Abel, as God preferred Abel's offerings of a sacrifice to Cain, which happened to be fruit and veg. He bought the finest fruit and veg. Obviously, Abel bought sheep, the firstborn of the flocks, and obviously God preferred Abel. And in an act of jealousy, Cain murdered his brother. Maria Ellender, Tubal Cain is also Masonic. Right. Lee Rigby, we'll have a quick look to see whether Lee went with the... Whether we went with... Oh, by the way, I did look at Prince Philip's funeral, no sign of a horse-drawn cart. And I also looked at... who was that guy who did 100 laps around his garden? Can't remember. They didn't use any... Wow, look at the people that turned out for Lee Rigby. They may have used a horse-drawn cart. I do not see it though. Right, Lee Rigby funeral. Lee Rigby military funeral. No, it doesn't look like they did have one for him. But if anyone else can think of any other people that have died recently, yeah, I'd be curious to see. Bob Newell, 007 Tubal Cain. I am not familiar with that. I mean, 007 is... Oh, I know someone showed a link. Tubal Cain. These 007 Tubal Cain and the Legend of Tubal Cain. I'll look that up in 1 second. Also, we'll go to that link that Can't remember who showed it now. Was it Alice? It was someone with a wrench, I know that much. Alice Wilde, let's have a look. Sorry guys, give us 1 second. Okay, I hadn't taken the text down. Father's heartbreak as horse-drawn carriage takes his 2 toddler daughters to be buried after their prostitute mother murdered them for ruining her sex work. Wow. Thank you for sharing this, Alice. Not a story I'd heard of. Goes back to 2019. Wish I could get rid of these adverts. Again, terrible picture quality. Right. Hang on, guys. I think I've got to wait for the... Here we are. 2 little girls murdered by their prostitute mother so she would have more time for sex work has been laid to rest. Louise Porton. Here we go. 23. Smothered Lexi Draper, 3, and 16-month-old Scarlett Vaughan because they got in the way of a sordid lifestyle. More than a year after their deaths, the 2 girls have been laid to rest following a funeral in Walsall in which their hearse was drawn by white horses. Okay. Wow, there we are. In fact, going back to... Yeah, that's exactly the same. Thank you for sharing that, Alice. Whereas we saw with... Oh, I'm going to close these tabs now. What we saw with Ashley... Azalea. Where are we? I think I've probably already killed the page, but right, Ashley King funeral. Let's just see. Images. I want to try and get a picture of the hearse without having to load up the page again. Yeah, they had 4, so it looks like since the days of Martin Hat, where they only had 2. Look, they don't look in the least bit bothered. Do you think you could look as 1, as happy, and 2, as bored as that at your own daughter's funeral? It's ridiculous. Anyway, let's go back to that other one. Yeah, exactly the same. I don't know if it's the same rider. I don't know how close we see the rider. Be more Martin. What a ridiculous statement. Do you know what? I wish I hadn't clicked off that because you can see the inks ran. It looks like on this guy's arm that I don't know whether that's a bruise or something, but is that maybe his mother? Yeah, that is his mother, right. Yeah, let's have a look, see if there's any more telltale signs. Here was the evil prostitute mother. Devastated father Chris Draper wrote online, "My girls am home. Know today your family lay you to rest, even though you shouldn't be there. But your daddy babies has sent you away in style, sick. And the whole of Walsall and Blockswich knows who you are." He added, "You are loved and babies nobody will ever take that from, especially from me, my family, and new friends give you the send-off you deserve. All eyes on you and you'll be missed." Well, at least he's pretending that his grief is so bad that he can't string a proper sentence together, unlike Ashley and Safia, who constantly post on theirs. Sleep tight babies, daddy got you, daddy will always have your back. Sleep tight, lovely, oh, love your daddy. Lexi was killed in January last year when Scarlett 2 weeks later. Porton was jailed for life at Birmingham Crown Court. In a victim statement read by Chris Draper condemned social workers for failing to heed his warnings. He said, "I hate Louise. No punishment will ever be enough. I'll never see my daughters back. Maybe if social services had listened to me, they would still be alive today. Again, Chris Draper sticking pictures up on Facebook. I mean, I suppose this was a while back, the deaths. Yeah, they do love these hearses. I mean, in a way, this is product placement as well. They're selling the idea that, like, if you're really classy and really original, you can hire horses to pull your cart. They just having a look at the chat. Bob Mule, good catch, Hippo Lady. Oh, hang on. CC Jelly, a stagecoach would have been too tacky for the Joe Cox funeral. Hippo Lady, Captain Tom Ward died on the 33rd day of the year. Yep, don't doubt that. CC Jelly says that was a great link. Alice Wilde, yes it was. Thank you for sharing it. CC Jelly, MI5 funeral directive. Okay, yeah. I mean, it does seem that a lot of these funerals have identical things. Right, I'm trying to think back to, again, going back to the Manchester Arena, there was a girl, she was about 8 years old. It was the first victim named. They named it within like a day. Something Rose, I can't remember her first name. But I'm curious whether her funeral was televised. Let's have a look. What was her name? I should remember it. Manchester MEN attack victims. Okay. Who were the victims? Safia Russo Rousses, that was it. Safia Russo. Not a million miles from the name Safia Voronin. Hey, right, copy. The funeral. I'm just curious whether they went with the same, again, how photoshopped does that picture look? But at least they got an obituary for her. Oh, hang on. An obituary for Safia Rose on the 4th of the 7th, 2008. That can't be right. Huh. I don't know what's going on there. Oh no. Now, is it just me, or does she look a bit like that Katie Ruff who we looked at earlier? Like in a weird sort of way. I don't know. Where were we? In a weird sort of way, there's a bit of a resemblance. Right, we were going to look at this Safi's funeral, weren't we? Just to see whether one, they televised it, and two, she had a horse-drawn cart like everyone else. Doesn't look like she did. No, they used a good old-fashioned hearse. Well, that's something at least. Johnny Roadster. Greetings. Two kiddies' death is tragic, but the horses, etc., make it look comical. Johnny, I don't know your opinions on this, but believe me, if I thought these were genuine, children genuinely dying, I wouldn't touch it. I would never make a video on such a horrible subject. The truth seems to be, though, that there's nothing real about any of the deaths that we're featuring at the moment. Bob Mule, can you remember that video? Ellen. Yes, sir. That was Bickerstaff, Nick Bickerstaff yelling for his daughter, but she did turn up, fortunately. Maria Ellender, all the coffins for cremation are recycled. They remove the corpse prior to the furnace. All funeral directors are Masonic. I see what you're saying now. That's kind of gory. I've never had to. I've been to very few funerals in my life. and I've never been to a cremation, but yeah, I could imagine actually they probably would recycle the funerals. CC Jelly, we can't verify what, if anything, is in any of the caskets. Fake deaths standard MO. Well, you say that, CC Jelly, but would you trust the words of the Archbishop of Canterbury? Let's hear what he said. I think it was the Archbishop of Canterbury. He did the service for her. He gets interviewed. 100 say farewell. Yeah, he makes quite a creepy statement, actually, in my book. He talks about watching the funeral, watching the body. Stayed up all night in the church. Archbishop of York. I don't know if the video's there, but you can see he's got a big smile on his face. I actually did a live stream on this girl once. Maybe, I don't know if any of you, I'll be finishing my live stream in about 11:30, but if any of you want to hang around for an hour and watch a replay of that, I'm not sure. Perhaps I'll put it on another night. Where is it, the Archbishop talking about? Archbishop of York. I expect they probably sold it to the story to the Daily Mail. Right, we'll watch this for like 2 seconds just to see if the Archbishop pops up. Yeah, he's there saying about how he looked after basically confirming what was in the casket. CC Jelly, funeral directors, holders of many secrets. Well, of course they are. I bet they know. Yeah, I bet they know an awful lot of things. I don't know if any of you remember a story they did on EastEnders a while back. Actually, that's a good segue into a story I'm going to look at soon. But yeah, sorry, going back to the live chat. Bob Newell, can you remember that video, Ellen? Yes, Nick Beckerstaff, we could have a look at him in a minute. Yeah, anyway, EastEnders did a storyline a few years back where Dot Cotton's evil son, Nick, was blackmailing a funeral director and to make everyone think that he'd died, and the funeral director went along with it, lied to Dot Cotton that they had buried her son, and I think he was either trying to make her go crazy or I don't know, but they ended up, yeah, basically the funeral director was in on it. Johnny Roadstar, me and the wife watched that Colonel Tom's funeral. Freaky, everyone spoke like he's there. Been to a few funerals and never seen that. Very unnatural, even see 2 minutes of it. Just wow. Well, we're coming up to, I generally, like I say, this is a 2-hour live stream. I have a intermission, maybe for 5 minutes. I do like to put a video on to keep you guys entertained. So we could maybe watch some highlights of Colonel Tom's funeral. I would be, although I do want to hear the Archbishop, talking about Katie and looking after her. How long's that? No, that's the whole funeral. Right, yeah, we are going to go on to a subject after the intermission. We'll talk about the next subject. Again, it goes back to, it ties in with a video I made a few months back. Perhaps we could watch that even. Tragic Katie Ruff's Dr. Zeus coffin arrives. yeah, that was another thing. We looked at Martin Heck. His funeral was decorated with, his coffin was decorated with Deirdre Barlow. Katie Ruff's was decorated with Dr. Zeus, and Martin Heck's, Azalea Kane's coffin was decorated with the Lion King. Right. I'm not sure if the Guardian will have the Archbishop lying about stuff. Bear with me, people. No, not in that one. The Scum newspaper. So, Maria Ellender, wedding rings, engagement rings, gold teeth, etc. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows what happens to that stuff? I mean, that's if it even makes it out of the hospital, of course. Yeah, this guy, complete liar. You know, at these funerals, it's never long to see people laughing and smiling. I'm curious to see if I can find that video, though. Okay, so decorated coffins. Maybe that's common for children. I don't know. Oh, how tacky is that? The Archbishop greeted well-wishers. I want to see the video of him, though, where he's talking about how he sat over the... He basically held a vigil. Maybe that's what we should look for. Archbishop York vigil. He looks like he's gone up in the world, though, nowadays. Oh, there we are. Archbishop of York. I kept a vigil over Katie's coffin. Where is he? Looks like they might have taken the video down, unfortunately. The Archbishop of York, Dr. John Sentamu, conducted the funeral of 7-year-old Katie Ruff. Last night her coffin was brought to the chapel at Bishopthorpe Palace, where the Archbishop revealed he kept a visual throughout the night. It wasn't easy to conduct the service, but I got to know the family 3 days after the child died. When the Archbishop was asked how he can give the message that God is love when something as horrible as this happens, he replied by saying that Katie had a strong faith, and even if people don't believe in God, God believes in them. I'm not so sure I agree with that. I believe you've got to put faith in God before he puts faith in you, but hey-ho. Right, let's see. Maria says there was a scandal some years back when funeral directors were accused of stealing from corpses. Interesting. Doesn't surprise me at all, though. David, there's always someone got dupe in delight. Well, I think I've already shut down the Martin Heck page, but if we go back to it, Heck's funeral, we get quite a bit. Actually, this thing is tacky as you could ever imagine. I mean, if you can imagine a tacky funeral, think Martin Heck. He takes it to the extreme. It could be no more tackier than this, right? I'm not looking at any more Katie Ruff images. Where are we? There we go, decorated coffin. Stars from Coronation Street were among hundreds who attended one of the funerals of the Manchester victim. Martin Heck, one of 22 people, that number came up continually, who died when Simon Abidi detonated a homemade bomb at the Ariana Grande concert on the 22nd of May. Let's see if that number comes up again. Oops. His family said the service at Stockport Town Hall was to celebrate Martin's life. They said they had requested 2 horses and a white carriage at his funeral, and that was what they gave him. The coffin was adorned with pictures of Corrie characters. It was greeted by a minute's applause. Well, yeah, these people laughing and smiling, particularly this one, Fizmet, whatever her name is in the soap. She, the soap characters, I mean, everyone seems to be laughing in this. Smiles all over the place. There we go, big smile on Gail's face. I wonder if turning up to that funeral was like a contractual obligation. It showed a t-shirt that let's do this, be more Martin, down het. No thank you. Yeah, had a much better news story about Martin, but hey ho. Right, we'll lose that one. Okay, I'll tell you what we could watch on the intermission. A video I made about 4 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah. By the way, is that duping delight? Do you think? I mean, that's flat out boredom. No two ways about that. But I think she's trying not to crack a smile there. Goodness me, and people believe this. And if you point this out, you're the sick one. Oh, don't want to give away too much about what's coming up next. Oh yeah, we were looking at 007 and the Legend of Tubal Cain. Many people may not be aware that when sitting down to watch their favourite spy finale, finagly, I don't know that word actually, maybe it's a typo, finagly, watch their favourite spy and charm his way out of the death-defying scenarios. See, I don't actually know who this is. This is a new thing to me. Death-defying scenarios while matching wits with another of the world's most dangerous villains. They're witnessing and actively participating in an occult ritual. Historically speaking, the Bond film franchise has also existed as a major vehicle for concepts of predictive, social and political programming. Many adherents of the Legend of 007 may also be unaware that Sean Connery, believed by many movie critics and aficionados of the Bond film franchise to have provided audiences with the most definitive and overall best portrayal of the iconic role, was himself a character portrayed by a host actor. So someone else was playing the role of Sean Connery. Is that what they're saying? Yes, folks. The truth of the postmodern phenomenon known as new spell as the actor-based reality has many protective layers, of which the character known for decades to the general public as Sean Connery is but merely one. I 100% agree with that. Within this informative instalment, one shall discover not only paradigm-changing revelations but unexpected connections to the popular music industry, to Disney, a 90s era boy band, a popular singer allegedly from Wales, Tom Jones obviously, and a legendary singer-songwriter from New York known as the Piano Man, who enjoyed his hit-making heyday of popularity during the 1970s. Okay, I don't know much about that video. But yeah, also... Okay, interesting stuff. I don't know how I fell onto that. I think someone mentioned Tupal or Tubal Cain. Huh. Maria Ellender, why would they dupe? They in the money. Yeah, of course they are. CC Jelly, you've got to admire the funeral directors. They know it's a sham, but don't dupe. Oh, I see. I'm reading this chat backward. Johnny Roadstar, no way was that guy got a Coronation Street coffin. That's so public with copy of stupid shit like that. You're absolutely right. I think all these horse-drawn carts are again just an advert for the idea of selling horse-drawn carriages at funerals. Okay, we're going to go on to another subject after the intermission. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to hide my screen for a second. Edit my text. Right. Be right back. Big thanks to everyone who's tuned in and chatted in the live chat. It's most appreciated. I'll be back for the second hour very shortly. Right, hello guys, let me just make sure I'm playing things. I don't know how well this will play. Ooh. Right. Yeah, if anyone has any subjects they would like us to look at while we're in the second half of this live stream, by all means make a suggestion. Here we are. Again, this upcoming story. Oh, that's the wrong video. This upcoming story could make you wince a little bit. So if you are of a yeah, if you're queasy, then yeah, maybe go and grab a cup of tea or make a drink or something. This video actually goes on for 12 minutes. I may be back before the end of it. Yeah, I'll certainly be back before the end of it. We'll see, okay? Right, I'll certainly be back in about 5 minutes. Right, David, let's just see what he's saying. Was that the real Queen at hospital? David, I don't actually know. Did a Queen end up in hospital? To be honest with you, I'm quite out of touch. I was somewhere the other day where the news was playing, and there was something about a Ryanair aeroplane hijack, or a plane had to be rerouted. That is the only news story I'm vaguely familiar with, but we'll have a look when I come back. Right, guys, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right, I'm going to mute myself. I'll see you all soon. Right, sorry, it looks like we don't have audio for that last clip. Apologies. I'm going to have to play it through the my microphone. Hopefully the sound will be alright. Let me just put a message. Open it. Audio. We'll be back on shortly. Okay, so I'm going to right, I'm going to play it again. Unfortunately, the audio is not going to be the best, but hopefully you can hear what's being said and everything. Right, like I said, give us 5 minutes, guys. I'll be back. Right, sorry. Right, everyone. Now, in a recent video, I looked at British soap operas and how they were promoting the use of a particular medical treatment, I guess you could call it. Once again, the ITV soap Emmerdale is doing a story about a procedure. I'll give you a bit of a wince warning now. This might make your eyes water a bit talking about this. When Western media outlets run stories about what they say is the African practice of female circumcision, they refer to it as genital mutilation. But when a comparable procedure is done for the purposes of gender reassignment, it's considered a treatment. We'll just look at this scene. In this, the young gentleman is actually supposed to have originally been born female, at some point along the way transitioned.
I got my call with gender clinic today. I mean, the timing just couldn't be better. So what's the call about? Sort of an assessment thing to put me on the waiting list. Waiting list for what? For lower surgery.
Now, British soaps are well known for glamorising such things like alcoholism, promiscuity, infidelity, but trying to encourage their viewers to take part in very dangerous procedures like this is pretty new. Although they have obviously covered transgenders before, I don't think they've ever done a storyline in which one of the characters is actually going through the procedure or even considering it. You've got the lad's mother. What do you think? Will she add a note of caution, judging by the worried look on her face? That you might come to expect that?
Will you do the call with me? It's not for a couple of hours yet, but I'd really like you to be there. Of course. It's a lot to sit through, I get it. It's alright if you can't.
Matty, I can. I will, absolutely. I'm just catching up here. I didn't know that this was something that you wanted, or even thinking about.
Yeah, Mum, I've been for a while now. Especially since the top surgery.
So this call, it's like a referral?
No, it's the next step in the process. It's sort of an assessment to make sure you're okay and ready to go on the waiting list.
And are you?
Now here's a great opportunity for Emmerdale to inform the viewers of the not only physical but psychological impact that having such invasive treatment would have on a person. I mean, I'm not sure, I'm no expert on it, but from what I've heard, literally after a woman has this operation, apparently it involves they take skin from the forearm, they then have to stretch out the urethra or something. It's very intense. Considering, I don't know, is it called body dysmorphia or gender dysmorphia, considering that is considered a psychological mental health issue, to give people actual physical surgery, as I say, such intensive physical surgery, it beggars belief. I cannot see how any doctor is not struck off for encouraging this sort of practice. But of course, it's big money for the NHS now. What do Emmerdale do? Do they talk about 9 months to a year to recover from this operation and can't walk for that time? Do they mention that many people that go through this procedure end up regretting it and wanting it reversed, or the ridiculousness of treating a psychological problem with physical surgery? Let's watch on and see what they say.
It'd be harder, Mum. Much harder. And it's not just one operation, it's 3, maybe more. They're really invasive, and the recovery, I mean, it's pretty brutal. I'm not looking forward to that. But the result, I'll be afterwards. It's right for me, Mum. I need this. You okay with that?
100%, Matty. If you're sure, if this is what you need, I am there. The difference in you after you had your top surgery, I saw it. And I've watched your confidence grow every day since. And your...
What?
No, it sounds daft.
Go on, say it.
Your joy. I've watched your joy grow too.
Yeah, it does sound daft, that. Hey, it doesn't mean you're wrong, though.
No, I was actually. Because I thought it would have been enough.
No. Top surgery made a big difference, Mum. Even though I had no idea how huge it would be. I'm gonna take my top off, not wear out low. I can hug people without flinching. But now I'm ready, Mum. I'm ready to finish what I've started.
So they do mention pretty brutal surgery. By the sounds of it, that is a massive understatement, and then they then go on to say, but it's all worth it. Basically, if you're a girl and you haven't got a lot of confidence, go and mutilate and cut off healthy parts of your body. That'll make a big difference. That's all you need to do. I think it's very dangerous that Emmerdale are covering this story. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if the story plays out, and eventually you will see the psychological impact it has on this person, or will they make it out to be a great practice? Later on we do watch Matty, as he's called, go through his call. I will watch that.
Hi Matty, I'm Dr. Fields. I'm a gender specialist, and for the purposes of this call, I'm hoping to get a sense of who you are, where you're at right now, and to see if neurosurgery is a possible route to see you.
And to put me on the waiting list, depending on all the evidence and assessments and stuff.
That is correct, yes. Okay, Matty, I need to warn you that some parts of this consultation might trigger.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, greetings people, I'm back.
Getting too much, please let me know. Are you all
We'll just cut in here and say that Post of Doctors gives this lad a warning. Right. That he might...
That was a video of mine back on 14th of April, where the British soap Emmerdale did a story about, what would you call it? Oh, I can't even think now. So I'm just trying to get rid of the be right back thing I've written. Text, there we go. Right. Yeah, they made a video about reassignment, they call it, or something. Just going into the live chat. Phil Wright, greetings, thanks for joining the live stream. We say about, thing is, he is probably a she in real life. Good point. That's the thing with a lot of these people, who knows what any of them are. This here is meant to be a woman, Matty's mother in the story, but look how wide those shoulders are. Now this is a very confusing one. This character is meant to be originally born a girl and has transitioned to a boy, so your guess as to who's what is anyone's guess. Anyway, I mentioned earlier on in the story that about how in this country we talk about the practice of female circumcision, and we call it genital mutilation, and maybe that is an absolutely correct term for it. I've got no arguments there, but it's interesting the comparison when they do a story about real gender reassignment, as they inaccurately call it. They make it sound like a good thing and a positive thing, and it's just double standards from what I can see. Now, what do you know? To my surprise, EastEnders. What are they now doing a story about? What is female genital mutilation? As EastEnders starts grim story. The BBC One soap Right, sorry, just got to wait for the things to load. While we're waiting for that, just read the live chat. David, the nice truck attack in France was staged, but that's maybe for another time, Bobby. Yeah, I don't think that happened before I was doing these videos, so I've never really covered that. But yeah, again, PK, the YouTuber PK made some good videos on that. Ripped the official narrative to shreds. Maria, sadly, you don't have to watch TV to be facing this insanity. My work brings me into contact with this weekly, and I'm obliged to feed the delusion. Yeah, I do remember having to do, what was it? I think they called it inclusion training or inclusive training, and it was about how everyone has to respect everyone, and I made the point that respect originally was always used to be something you earned, but now it's something that everyone's entitled to. I mean, that isn't respect. You can be respectful, absolutely. You can be polite and kind to people. I agree, don't disagree with that. And I mean, I personally think anyone who, it's my personal opinion now, anyone who believes they are in the wrong body or has what now it gets called gender dysmorphia or something, I actually think they're victims of of propaganda that nowadays leads us to believe that it is a perfectly normal thing to believe that if you're born a boy you could be a girl, or vice versa. Bob Mule says there's so many hoaxes. Absolutely agree. Feel right, most TV people are trans. 100% yes they are. Bob Mule says, can you remember Mason Wells? Yep, well, we can have a look at Mason before we finish tonight. Now if you think to yourself, how likely is it you're going to be involved in a terror attack? 1,000,000 to 1. How likely is it you're going to be involved in 2 terror attacks? 1,000,000,000 to 1. What about 3 terror attacks? Well, Mason Wells is one such person. But I'm going to stick to this subject for a little bit though, because I don't want to go too much into it. It's just, I heard about this just before starting this video, and I thought make the comparison. The BBC One confirmed the story in scenes as Mila explained to Kathy Beale that her mum Nayangi is taking sister to be cut. She's now at the age to be cut with soap something or other. What is FGM? FGM is defined by the NHS as a procedure where the female genitals are deliberately cut, injured or changed. So that is the definition. By that logic, let's look up how gender reassignment is defined. Do you know what? If you go onto Wikipedia, I'm not actually going to do it. Oh, hang on, reassignment, not assignment. I'm not actually going to do it, but if you go onto Wikipedia, there are some crazy pictures. Absolutely crazy pictures. In fact, yeah, we won't go down to the pictures, but it's just interesting. Remember what the NHS defined as genital mutilation. Now let's read about gender reassignment surgery. Gender reassignment surgery and several other names is a surgical procedure by which a transgender person's physical appearance and functioning of their existing sexual characteristics are altered to resemble those socially associated with their identified gender. It's part of a treatment. It's treatment? What? No, hang on a minute. A moment ago you were saying it was mutilation. Now all of a sudden when it involves people wanting to become a trans, it's a treatment. Right. Professional medical organisations have established standards of care that apply before someone can apply and receive reassignment surgery, including psychological evaluation and a period of real life experience living in the desired gender. Well, at least that's something. Feminization surgeries, well, we're not really after them. We're particularly interested in the other one. Well, I'm not interested in it, we're just looking at that tonight. Right, that's for males. Let's see, terminology. Hang on. Yeah, there's a name for something. I can't remember the actual procedure, but it's something like let's see. top surgery, bottom surgery. That's what the other one is. Is it this one? Right, some transgender people who desire medical assistance to transition from one sex to the other, a trans woman assigned male at birth and seeking feminizing surgery may have one or more. Oh, I don't know what came up there. I'm scared to look actually. Penectomy. Oh, okay, it's a drawing. That's something at least. Right, you're telling me that isn't genital mutilation? Goodness sakes. Oh, that's a removal. Orchioptomy vaginoplasty. Is it? Nope, it's not a drawing. Sorry, people. A trans man assigned female at birth and seeking masculinity surgery may undergo procedures including and phalloplasty. How this stuff cannot be considered mutilation is beyond me. I'm scared to look at these pictures because they'll quite rightly get this video taken down, put it that way. Let's go back to the chat. Right, Mason Miles. Yeah, we'll look at him in a minute. Phil Wright, Robbie Parker laughing before CNN started rolling in the Sandy Hoax interview. Bob Neal, classic Phil. It was a classic indeed. Boston Marathon, him in a wheelchair with half a leg. Yeah, I know the guy. Perhaps we'll go on and look at some of these before we finish, because I think if I have to read much more about phalloplasty or orchiectomy, what I will say, if you're interested in how real they can do this stuff, then go on Wikipedia, because some of the pictures, if you've got a stomach for it, will blow your mind. I'm curious about history though, because apparently this stuff goes back for as long as humans have been around. Not sure if any of you are familiar with the old YouTube channel Mr. E, and who was the other guy? What was his other channel name? I think it was Transpocalypse Now, I believe was the correct name. He made some really interesting videos about the origins, going right back to the early Greek or Roman empires, and how some of their gods, they believed that you could become a god by becoming a trans. Yeah, some really brilliant videos. In fact, we could play out on one possibly. We'll see, I'm not sure. Right, Phil Wright says Martin Hett's parents laughing, saying he's made it to stardom down after allegedly being blown up in the Manchester Arena psyop. Yeah, I remember his mum said in a video that someone had tweeted her saying it's alright, he died doing what he loved, he had a really good time. Absolutely crazy. Mason Wells, let's get away from all this gender stuff. It was just, I thought, interesting that that Emmerdale have done a story saying one of the characters wants to have bottom surgery, as they call it. It is a procedure which, by all accounts, a woman transitioning, in inverted commas, to a man, it can take them like the best part of a year to recover, and they have to literally learn to walk again after the treatment they go through. It's horrible, vile stuff. And apparently the number of people that do this and regret it, as you can well imagine, is very high. And then at the same time, EastEnders do a story about genital mutilation because it's in Africa, and portray it as something harmful, which of course it is. I'm not disputing that, but it's just interesting double standards. Right, Bob Mule. I remember I used to be subbed by Mr. E. He was awesome channel. There is some of his stuff is still up though. I am subscribed to a person that's mirrored a lot of his videos. That's why I was saying about maybe watching one of his videos on and out as a tribute, because yeah, he was a great YouTuber. We were going to look at a few people though. Mason Wells. How unlikely is this? Yeah, I don't know if I did the Legend of Tubal Cain justice. I'm not actually that familiar with it. But this website looks interesting. Okay, here we go. Tubal Cain is a biblical blacksmith and leader of the descendants of Cain, as well as a direct descendant of Cain himself. He comes into conflict with Noah and is the main antagonist of the 2014 film Noah. Okay, I've read the story of Noah and I do not remember it coming up, but he's a blasphemous tyrant. Okay. Yeah, if you're not familiar with my live streams by now, you will know I flip from one subject to another in the blink of an eye. Apologies for that. Okay, Mason Wells. As someone suggested his name. We will be going on to one final Instagram account, actually, before we finish. Yes, 1:15. I started at quarter to 10 p.m, so I'll be finishing at 1:45 to midnight. Oh, Mason Wells, that isn't the correct thing. Great name though, isn't it? Mason. I believe this is him. This has got to be him. Okay, maybe not. Here we are. Yeah, it's the same person. Oh, he's a Mormon apparently. One of them, you could say. Here, a clearly photoshopped picture as the man with the tiniest head in the world. I think this was following... I don't know, actually, let's find out. Following the Brussels blast. Maria Ellender says a lot of aristocracy were into transformation, Baphomet worship. Absolutely, I mean, if any of you are familiar with the Baphomet, you'll see it is a goat-headed god with, well, should I say god, a entity with a head of a goat, female breasts and male genitalia. Yeah, that's a blatant Photoshop, isn't it? Right, Mason Wells is said to be a Mormon missionary who survived his third terror attack in Brussels. Interesting they put it in inverted commas there. The incredible story goes that Wells was in the Boston Marathon and Paris events as well. Wells was said to have a third-degree burns from Brussels attack, but irregardless was quickly flown to Utah for his recovery. Wells enjoyed a miraculous recovery from his severe burns, except for one thing. He has a shrunken pinhead. This is someone calling it out as BS. Brilliant. Mason Wells recovers from head shrinks after miracle recovery. A shrunken pinhead. Poor Mason Wells, he ends up in 3 terror attacks and gets third-degree burns, and now he's a Zika virus victim to boot. The next photo shows Mason's pre-shrinkage. The question I have, does the crime syndicate make incredible operational errors, or do they do it deliberately for giggles at the expense of the idiocracy? I actually lean towards the latter. Sometimes you do wonder what their motives are for doing it. Robbo Max, greetings and welcome to the live chat. You say the best picture of him is with his face all bandaged up. Exactly. I mean, that could of course be anything with just a few some stuff stuck on it. Bob Muir, who did that Monster Mash video of Mason Wells? Angela Tate Clown Reality, greetings and welcome to the live stream. Robbo says, survived. He was 150 miles from one of the events. On that basis, I survived hundreds of deadly events. Yeah, absolutely. We'll look at the Monster Mash. I'm not familiar with that one. Mason Wells Monster Mash. Whether it's still out there, a lot of these things. Is this it? No, that's some kids dancing around. A Halloween Spectacular. Unfortunately, it may not be up on YouTube anymore. Or if it is, it's probably been buried. Unless anyone's got a link to it. If you require a wrench, let me know. Okay, yeah, last thing I'll talk about then. During my week of being... Oh, Phil Wright says he was watching Ariana Grande in Manchester. Was he involved in that? I wouldn't be surprised. Although it isn't actually uncommon. There was... yeah, I can't remember. I think it was UK Critical Thinker made a video about all the different people that keep showing up in these terror attacks. I'm not sure if that video's still up there. It was a classic though. David, Pulse Nightclub was a good one. Yeah, Pulse Nightclub again, another one that PK and a lot of other people ripped to shreds. Robin Max, am I right in thinking you might have made some videos on the Pulse? I seem to remember you had. I mean, that was when I started getting into the truth, as it were, 2017. And Robbo, I remember you were around at that time. Right, speaking of things like CGI, which is clearly on here, we're going to go to another Instagram account. No, actually, we'll go to Twitter. Twitter.com. Oh, I never left a link to this actually on Twitter. I meant to. Right, if we do it, I'm not sure if many of you people have seen my videos on the Z-list celebrity Jake Quickenden. I have made loads saying I believe he CGI's his child. Now, would you believe it? There's another. This guy loves his product placement. Unless he's taken the video down now, I don't know. May 24th. Oh no, this was Sunday he did this video. Here we are. Right, took me ages to CGI this video. What Sundays are for, lying in bed. He came onto my... He actually acknowledged a video I made on Twitter. But bear in mind, okay, he's basically making fun of the videos I've made about him saying it's CGI. Now, if you notice, now I have taken it. Anyway, you notice there is this weird black shadow at the back of his head that sort of basically laughing, saying this picture's so real. Bear in mind those hands. In fact, I would go full screen, but I just don't want to see this vile thing that it's the baby's led on. Come on then, let's see it. Look at the hands, never move at all. He's saying, well, this can't possibly be CGI, it's too good. Turn that rubbish off. Hands never move, and there's a weird shadow that bounces around behind the head. Not to mention a bit of ghosting, there we go. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, I would say that definitely could be CGI. Yeah, my account got absolutely hammered the other day by this guy and his troll of his army of trolls. Strange though. Right, here we go. I did try and discuss stuff with him. Had a bit of a back and forth. Now, whether it's really him or not, or it's someone that looked after his channel, I have no idea. But yeah, now anytime you go onto Instagram, on this guy's Instagram account, between all the product placement
videos, links that he puts up, he makes a lot of references now to CGI, and that's all thanks to the videos I made about him. Well, let's see. Instagram, obviously it goes to Ashley Kane. Yeah, and he hit one of my videos. Where is he? I'm just curious whether he's mentioned anything else about CGI. Here we are. No doubt he said exactly the same in this one. Morning, you. Oh no. Let's see. There was one thing, and a lot of his. Yeah, I'm saying this video CGI. This baby's CGI. Weird stuff, but yeah, interestingly, he has acknowledged it. And on one of my vids, I got like, I don't know, it went up to 20,000 views. Let's see. Although they soon took a load of views off it. Where was it? It was this one. Weird stuff. Originally, this video went up to 24,000 views. It's been hammered by. It's been hammered by his army of troll fans. 113 thumbs down. Loads of people in the comments now. There he is having a chat. Like I say, I don't really think it's him, but this is. This is. Goodness sakes, hang on. He says, this is the funniest thing I've seen. Like I have time to pretend to have a baby or make a CGI baby. Mate, you have far too much time on your hands. I had quite a back and forth on this one with him. And I told him, look, he continually misrepresents my argument. I tell him stuff like, I'm not saying you do this yourself. I'm saying basically his whole channel, in fact the guy looks nothing like that anymore, could even almost be a different person. I have said to some of his fans on there that keep asking me, once I did say to him, if you really want me to take the video down, I will. Or after that they went very quiet. But what I cannot work out is what's going on with the views, because up until Sunday that was listed as having 24,000 views. It's now dropped down to 10,000. So whether some of his, unless it's the same people watching the video more than once, possibly, I'm not sure. Right, I'm curious if I go to my analytics. Can I go to them from there? Yeah, analytics. I'm curious what it will say. Right. What are they claiming on analytics? Yeah, 25,000 views. Whether it's different, who knows? But for some weird reason, that video's right, audience. Let's see what it tells us about this one. Maybe it's unique viewers aren't particularly, I don't know. It's a strange one. For some reason, it went up to 22.7 thousand, whatever. Yeah, 22,000 unique viewers. On my channel, they had it clearly saying it had 24,000 views, 25,000, and now it dropped down to 14,000 the other day, and now down to 11,000. So who knows what's going on with that? Weird stuff. Crazy stuff. Right. Phil writes, just going back to the chat. CC Jelly says, I miss all these hoaxes. The
psychologists were monitoring how they were received in preparation for the big one in 2020. Could be the case. Didn't we have something recently with Ryanair? I'm not 100% sure what that story was about. No, I don't watch the news enough. I believe the hoaxes are still going on, just not as high profile. Mum of Belarus journalist says, I'm begging the whole world to save him after Ryanair hijacking. What do you think about this one? I don't actually, like I said, I don't follow the news anymore, so... is that what's known as a Masonic hand symbol? Right. So apparently a Ryanair aeroplane was hijacked. And what would you know? A journalist, which always seems to get involved in these things. Let's see if anything else comes up, like the numbers. The mum of Belarus journalist Roman Protasevich has said she is begging the whole world to save him after he was abducted from a Ryanair flight over the weekend. How do you abduct someone from an aeroplane? Right, what do you think they mean by begging for the whole world to save him? Do you think that means they're going to put a GoFundMe up by any chance? Natalia 26, there's a number again. Son was arrested in Minsk on Sunday. Authorities are going to kill him unless world leaders help get him released. Do you think this is a hoax? She and her husband, Dmitry Protasevich, said during an interview in Poland that they saw clear signs that their son had been beaten in the first footage seen of him since he was detained. Mr. Protasevich said his son had been forced to film the video confession. Meanwhile, his wife broke down in tears, saying, I'm asking, I'm begging, I'm calling the whole international community to save him. The terrified son, the mum, said she had not slept for 2 nights. Right, let's see if she still had time to do her makeup. Hadn't slept for 2 nights. Still had time to dress properly, comb her hair, do makeup. Bet she... Yeah, I've not seen the video, but I'm going to say that's a hoax if ever there was one. Right. Crazy Hippo Lady. I am just dipping into the chat without really reading it properly. Mannequins and dummies, dead pigs and dogs. Grenfell, yeah, I remember Grenfell. I did actually go and see the tower. It's a lot of people back then were saying it was a land grab, weren't they? Right, what other news stories do we have these days that could easily be called out as a hoax? Jedward, well, government backtrack on local lockdowns after travel confusion. PM had no plan to protect vulnerable people. Floyd's family meets Joe Biden on murder anniversary to demand police reform. Last in peace on visit to Israel. Prince Harry blinded by Meghan and destroying himself in interview, says Paul Burrell. I think the hoaxes are still going on. I don't think much has stopped. Okay, right. I'm going to have a quick look at the live chat, and it's 11:30. I'm going to start winding down shortly. Let's see. I just wonder if there's any blatant hoaxes going on at the moment. Don't know if anyone out there knows of any recent ones. Right, episode of London's burning passed off as real. I guess we're talking about Grenfell, yes, absolutely. George Floyd, definitely another big one. Again, it was another person I made a video about George Floyd. If you look at the video where he's getting kneeled on, you clearly see he lifts himself up. I'll go back to my channel for that one. Just shutting down some of these. Right. George Floyd. Or was it Floyd George? I get them two mixed up. George Floyd murders videos. Oh, for some reason my video didn't come up. Let's lose that. Okay. I can get to my channel. Right, yeah, I did a video ages ago. Now it does have music on, so I'm not going to want to play too much of it, but where are we? Okay. Bear with us. There we go. The impossible foot angle. Right, I'll mute it quickly. Right, here we are. Not only was that foot an angle, it's a strange one. If you ever try kneeling in such a way, you'll see it is impossible. And that is why when all these footballers and sports people back then were kneeling down, none of them could get the foot angle correct, as you can see. When your foot is in that position, it means you cannot put any weight down on your knee. And as we see, watch him. See, he even moves himself off the floor. We'll watch that again. We'll put it in slow motion, even slower than it already was. Playback speed. You watch how easily he lifts himself off the ground there. After glancing at the camera, you see? There's no way they were suffocating him. CC Jelly, House Explosions Stage 2. Yeah, a load of them go on. I mean, obviously houses do burn down every so often. But who knows what's the story behind them. Alice Wild, we do indeed live in a simulated reality. Phil Wright, footballers are still kneeling over that BS. I wouldn't be at all surprised to hear that. Okay. Right. My throat is starting to go after blabbering away for 2 hours. I'm finding it a bit of trouble to talk, so I am going to have to wind down. I cannot remember what video I said we were going to play out on. I think it was going to be a Mr. E. Phil Wright, you think George Floyd was a dummy on the ground? Interesting. If it was, and that dummy managed to move, I'm not sure. I mean, I wouldn't rule out that all that could have been filmed with a green screen. It could have been a computer game. I do remember when the police officer got up and walked away, it didn't look right. It looked like a computer game, like when you see characters in a computer game walking away. It didn't look real. So maybe it was a dummy, maybe the whole thing was CGI, who knows? Difficult to say. All I do know is that George is perfectly capable, able to lift himself off the ground. CC Jenny, so great show, thanks ever so much. Crazy Hippo Lady, Gareth Southgate picking 33 players. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed now in football, well, high profile football, Robin Max is a sore throat with symptoms of BS19. 100% not, it's just that I smoked too much probably, and my voice, because I've been talking since 9:45, yeah, I'm wearing my throat out a little bit. But thank you for your concern. Crazy Hippo Lady, his teacher was Wayne Sexton, they're disgusting. I'm not familiar. CC Jelly, have you heard me cough once? No, you have not. I do not have a dry cough. I just got a bit of a weak voice, I think. So we're going to play out with a video by the wonderful Mr. E. I am subscribed to a channel that has a lot of his videos still up. He is called, it's something like Ever Ready, Rapture Ready Eddie or something. Where is he? Oh, by the way, people, before I do go, I just saw one of the channels I'm subscribed to called Brian Staveley. There's a lot of stuff on the Mandela effect, and I'd be really interested to know what you guys thought of the Mandela effect. David, taking the knee as an insult to the family. It's interesting, actually. I've been reading the Book of Kings, actually, recently, the first book and second book. And there's a verse in there where it mentions that God had saved 7,000 people in Israel that hadn't bent their knees to Baal. And yeah, I haven't actually linked it with all this bending their knees. So perhaps when people used to worship the Baals, the false gods, they would bend their knees in such a way. Wouldn't be at all surprised. Robin Max, do you know what the advice is in this part of the world? Just act like you've got it. That's what all the posters say around here. Act like you've got it. Where is Ever Ready, Rapture Ready Eddie? That was a channel I'm looking for. Might well have just gone past it. Sorry guys, otherwise I'll just go to my subscriptions. Here he is, Ever Hopeful Rapture Ready Eddie. If you want to catch any of Mr. E's videos, I'll leave a link to this in the live chat. Right, this is the channel from which one of these videos are going to be taken. Has it come up? Right, Bob Mule. I remember Wayne Sexton. She claimed she had some of his pictures from school decades ago. I'm not actually familiar with that story. I do apologise. I could look them up. Wayne Sexton. Why don't I remember that? Right. Yeah, so Robert, don't worry about catching it off me. Just go walk in the street, you'll catch it anyway. If you don't catch it, just act like you got it. That is the advice. Right, I'm tempted to look at Wayne Sexton, because for whatever reason I cannot remember the guy. Wayne Sexton, Head of Commercial Services. What about news? Oh, nope. I did not want to go to maps actually. I don't know what's going on there. Please go away. Right, okay, I'm going to run down and thank some people. Let's just find a video from Mr. E. I will of course be back generally it's Sunday. I couldn't do last Sunday as I was, my channel was taken down. It seems I get a few different people if I do a live stream on a different night, so perhaps it would be smart to do more than one live stream a week. Maybe why leave it to Sundays? Right, so Wayne All. I don't know what a Wayne L. Is that a man or a woman's name? His pictures from school decades ago. Right, okay. I'm going to try and run down and say a big thank you to everyone who has chatted in the live stream, and particularly everyone who's tuned in tonight. First of all, Alice Wild, Bob Mule, Crazy Hippo Lady, CC Jelly, Robbo Max, David, Phil Wright, Angela Tate Clown Reality, Maria Ellender, Alice Wild, if I haven't already said you, Bob Mule, if I haven't already said you. Who else have we got? Definitely said Maria Ellender. Is that everyone who has said? Oh, Johnny Roadstar earlier on. Don't know if you're still watching Johnny Roadstar. If you are, big hello. I was thinking of using some of your music to play out on. I might use that on another video, a future one. If there is anyone I have missed and not said hello to, Linda Mack earlier on. Stuan Pressure Washing, if you're still with us, my friend, thanks for joining and saying hello. I believe that could. I know early on, before the live stream started, Jackie Sharp commented, mentioning the potential fake, the potential, what word am I looking for? Alien invasion. I did leave a reply, but it doesn't look like she was still with us. But big thanks to, hang on, am I talking rubbish? Jackie Sharp, yeah. Okay. Bob Mule, Woman George's teacher. Okay, that would be Wayne L. Sexton. Okay, and I'm sure we're all aware that Big George, or Big Floyd, whatever he was called, was a actor, a porn actor. Phil Wright, thank you for the kind words. Right, I'm going to play this video. It goes on for about 10 minutes. The audio's not going to be great. Actually, give us 2 seconds while I just alter some of my text. And I do plan to be back next week. I do generally do a open lines every other Sunday. That is where I invite any of you to join the live stream. I'm planning to do it Sunday. If not, it will be Monday or Tuesday, who knows. I will definitely be doing a live stream in the next week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you. I will plan to put a video up in the next week. I will be repeating this live stream on Twitch tomorrow if you want to see it again. A link to my Twitch account is in the description. Thanks for tuning in. See you again soon. That is the text I'm putting on the screen. Okay. CC Jelly, 8 likes. Yeah, good night, Robin Max. Thanks as always for joining. It's good to hear from you, as you're one of the people that were around right at the start of when I did start doing these channels. I used to be called Obby Lines, of course, as I'm sure you remember. Yeah, and you were one of the people that were about back then, so I'd call you one of the legends of the truth movement. Thanks for joining, Robbo, and absolutely everyone else who joined in. You're all legends as far as I'm concerned. Okay, well, enjoy this video from another great YouTuber, Mr. E. Unfortunately, I don't believe he's active anymore. He's had a few channels taken down. He's probably given up. Can't say I blame him. On that note, I am considering starting a backup channel. I will let you guys know if I do. Yeah, it's been wonderful hearing and speaking to all you guys. And if any of you want a bit more interaction with myself, next live stream will be a call-in where just by going to a link in your web browser you can join the live stream. So long as you've got a microphone. I don't share video, so just have a voice call with me. Yeah, that is what I am inviting you to do. Alright, without further ado, I'm gonna say goodnight to you all. Right, I'll put this text somewhere a bit more practical. Alright, have a wonderful week, people. I will see you all again soon, I hope. That is it from me.
Deceptive transgender entities ruling the world. Everything's fake. That little fake family, fake people, fake smiles, fake words coming out of their mouth, fake events happening. Everything on television is fake. Ike and the Ikeettes. We got Ike and the Ikeettes here. Eisenhower. Mammy. Her name's Mammy. Alright, what else do you need to know? Mammy Dowd. That's one of those families, isn't it? Look at that. Come on. Now, either these presidents are picking the ugliest women in the world. No one's going to choose these women as their spouse. It's just not going to happen. Especially someone who's, successful as a president would be. But look at how feminine this guy is. Ike and the Ikeettes. The little fanboy. Got that Brad Pitt look going on. That little pretty boy. Definitely not pretty. Who's prettier? Ike or Ikeette? Wow. That's just nasty. And before Ike and the Ikeettes was True Man. We got True Man. Best Truman was a true man. Look at those trannies on the left, trannies on the right. I think that's one of his daughters or something, Generational. It's a family thing, man. It's a family tradition. And there he is in his Freemason regalia. Some kind of, look at that, that's basically the Muslim symbology, crescent moon, the sword, the star. Freemasons, man. Freemasons are part of the Illuminati. Look at that as a young boy. It's not passable as a man. The royal family, their real family, they're all related. It's the Illuminati bloodlines, man. It's the bloodlines and their practices involved in acceptance of transgender. Roosevelt, Eleanor Roosevelt. Again, either the ugliest woman in the world or a man. Look at that dude, man. What kind of, only men have facial expressions like that, like, hey man, what's up? Unless she's like got some kind of disease or something, but clearly a male face. I'm not talking about people listening, I got these women commenting, oh, I have a big hand and I'm not a tranny. Well, I'm not talking about you, alright? Women come in all shapes and sizes. I'm talking about these people in that video, and people are trannies, alright? I'm not saying you're a tranny. Look at who's on the right there. Look at that little girly boy here. Got that little Clinton one going on. Look at how feminine it is. Look at on the left, man. Whoa. Look at that, man. Come on. Why are the presidents so feminine? Why are the presidents so feminine? Well, it's because they are feminine. They're really a transvestite. They're just gender bending. It's just a big joke to them, man. They hate us. They're evil. Their mission in life is to lie. Every single word out of their mouth. They'll mix in a bit of truth, but only to emphasize the lie. Look at that. And last but not least, Herbert Hoover's wife's name was Lou Henry Hoover. Lou Henry. Two male names. I mean, if one wasn't enough, they give just a man. That's just a man, okay? If you didn't believe anything I said, just look at this one, all right? Maybe that's the first one I should have showed you, because, you know, there's going to be people that are just hopeless. You just can't help them, you know. Sorry to say, but that's a man. I mean, demons have hijacked people's brains, you know. But if you can't see that, your brain is hijacked by demons. You're a slave. You're a mental slave to demons. If you can't see that's a man. And I'll give you a bit of time to see that that's a woman. And it took me a while. That's why I haven't focused on the men yet, because I didn't have the conviction. I do now, all right? But I know the audience probably doesn't yet, so I'm going to ease into that and talking about the men. Ease into talking about the ones that look like men, like Brad Pitt. They're trained. Look at this guy. I mean, there's just no way around it. I mean, who was this guy? This person, we'll have to look at this person more. Maybe they died and became just a regular guy again, kind of like Diana. I think we got to look into that more, right? People who supposedly died, but really they probably just remained alive and just switched genders and took on a different disguise. That is a man, no doubt about it. And as the election draws nearer, which Illuminati training will be in the White House next year? So really we have a 20% chance between Trump, Clinton, Pence, Kane, and Obama. And you can see they're all a bunch of Illuminati trainers. They're all a bunch of secret trainers. So it doesn't really matter who you get. But, you know, the thing is, these principalities and powers, they don't always get along. So there may be some genuine animosity and competition between them. All right, I've heard kind of people who have studied these demonic entities a lot more than I have. They have said that, you know, just like the mafia and gangs and stuff, right? They kill each other off all the time. They're always fighting against each other. You know, the mafia is not fighting against regular people. They're fighting against each other. So Trump and Clinton they're both obviously Illuminati, demonically possessed, transgendered people from transgender families. Look at that son. He's a woman, and Trump is always married trannies. All right, all his ex-wives, ex-girlfriends are all a bunch of trannies. All right, he's a tranny. Look at that little feminine boy. So either, you know, but these people are demonically possessed. You just can't really trust anything they say or what they're doing. So just keep that in mind. They may not always get along. There may be a Clinton, maybe more of the kind of New World Order type of demonic entity, and Trump may be more of a nationalist demonic entity, right? Either way, look, I just showed you going back to the 1930s. They're all a bunch of trannies, all right? Every first lady is a tranny. Every president's a tranny, too. Melania is a tranny. No woman looks like, look at her, I mean, come on, it was great. Demonically possessed, transgender entity. She's got that alien look going on, right? There's a reason for that, because I think the alien deception is drawing near us. The demonic entities are going to disclose themselves. They're going to say they're aliens. And they're probably going to say that Jesus was an alien and that these people are related to Jesus. And they may even disclose that they're all a bunch of trainees because they're androgynous. You know, maybe they'll say, well, we came to Earth androgynous and we had to just kind of be in disguise, so we chose a gender, you know. But really, we're all just androgynous. Some of us pretend to be women, some pretend to be men. And that may be close to reality. Angels, I'm not sure if they really had gender or not, you know. I mean, Pence, full of tranny from his family, his wife's a tranny. He's a tranny. His face is really tight, you know, something off. He's had surgery, he's had some work done on his face. She's very butch-looking tranny herself. So, you know, can't trust these people. And I do believe there's, as we, you know, I'm just keeping it simple, 20% chance we'll have one of those 5 people in office actually being president next year, you know. Pence, Kane, Trump, Clinton, or Obama. There's just look at that woman. Again, why are these people marrying people that are just not that best, right? Kane, my first impression, I saw him, first time I saw him in a debate, I just thought, well, this guy's gay, right? Obviously he's gay. But actually, knowing what I know now, he's a trans, he's a female, he's a woman. It fits the pattern. You don't get this far. Even the vice presidents have to be trans too, right? Because they may become president. You know, but this woman, look at that man. It's a man. So to summarize, I look back at about 10 of the first ladies and the presidents and their families. It includes patterns of deception. Demonically possessed, transgendered entities, deceptive, and a ruling caste. Alright, maybe it's like a brave new world where you have to look weird in this way. All part of the same plan. Going back thousands of years. The days of Egypt and the pharaohs and Babylon. Maybe even Atlantis or something. Who knows? Look at all these first so-called first ladies. They're really the first trannies, aren't they? And now look at even Canada needs to be investigated. You got this new president guy and his wife is clearly a trans. Right? So there's the two ladies there are actually men in drag. And few people, no one's really talking about the fact that Malaya Obama is a tranny. Look at it, that's a young teenage boy. Alright, look at the face. It's all on the face. They got that. She's already a horse-faced tranny, okay? And I'm not trying to be rude, but you cannot hurt these people's feelings. They're not human. Look at that boy. No makeup, just getting off the plane. And look at this guy, man. That's on the official White House page, telling the whole world he's a little sissy boy, lady boy man. He's a woman. Washington. And of course, you know, George Washington, all these guys are Freemasons, man. Washington DC's full of satanic imagery, statues, paintings, and even the buildings, even the layout. Alright, so America was founded to be an Illuminati nation. Alright, a lot of this freedom stuff that they're pushing is actually freedom from God's laws, which is why we have gay marriage, secret trannies, and now they're pushing the transgender agenda because they're getting close. In the days of tribulation, there will be no restrainer. These people will rule the world with their laws. And their law is lawlessness. They're rebelling against God's laws. God has laws that are really there to protect us and to help us. But these people want to do what they want to do, right? They want to transgender themselves. They want to be God. They're recreating humanity in their own image so they can be God. And people are eating it up, man, because people want to be gods too. That's a great promise. It's like, hey, follow us and you'll be a God too. And everyone's like, yeah, that sounds great. You can't see what I'm trying to show you. Is that because you want to be a God? I used to want to be a God. I know, I understand. I used to be atheist and lost. I'm not there. Alright, Ephesians chapter 6, 11 to 13. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. spiritual wickedness in high places, deceptive, Illuminati, transgendered entities ruling the world.